Good morning. It's actually 12:15 p.m., but it says good morning in the script, so I have to say that, or else my boss will fire me. I don't have a boss, I'm not working. This is video 20, the 20th video out of 30 in 30 days. I missed yesterday, I have to make 2 today. I did that once before. That's where it is. Let's deal with it. I'm going to talk about how I'm trying to change and what that entails. I'm also going to do some editing in this one in order to begin to learn the process. I haven't really done anything but dragged this video down into the field below in iMovie and then shoot it out to YouTube. It's a real simple process, but I haven't really had to do anything in the sort of I haven't had to do any kind of editing up to this point, so I haven't really learned anything about it. But I'm trying to keep these as simple as possible, and that's part of it. Just drag and drop and click on a button. But I would like to learn some editing, so I'm going to do that. My videos will probably always be kind of crude, but that's because I'm not going to spend a lot of money or energy on these. They're a means to an end, not an end in itself. And some of that end is living simpler, so buying equipment to make more polished videos is opposite of that end. If I watch a bunch of videos on how to make great videos, starting with the equipment I need to buy to make them look professional, then read something along the lines of how humanity would be better if we all just lived simpler and were happier with less, then all thoughts of equipment go out the window. I've got a computer, it's got iMovie, it's got photo booth and a microphone. I've got a phone with video and audio, so really, what more do I need? I don't need any more, and everything else is just frosting. I've got a finite amount of space. Why clutter it with lights and camera and audio equipment? That's true. It's a mess in there. I'm always cleaning up, and it's always getting messier. Figure that. And for my reading this out of my journaling notebook, I decided to dedicate my morning journaling to writing, or starting at least, a video script. I always do a morning routine, but I'm always tweaking it too. So instead of doing a 5-minute journal, I'm going to start a script. So from now on, instead of doing the brain dump or whatever any of the multitude of people I watch tell me it's called, I'm just going to start writing a script. Now, how I'm going to change and what that entails. Instead of talking about lifelong mindsets and personal demons I've battled, I'll dwell more on immediate circumstances and what they've delivered into my life. Of course, the core mindsets and beliefs I have shaped my responses to my current situation. But the main point I've learned is, in order to change, I've got to live outside my comfort zone, and that entails acting contrary to what I tell myself is best, or right, or normal. And that requires a certain level of awareness, and to that end, Tom Bilyeu has some astounding guests in his show, and is an excellent host in that he asks well-reasoned and insightful questions. I have a link for him below. It's just a link to his channel, and I hope I pronounced his name right, but he almost never says it, so I'm just taking a stab at it here. I just watched a video of his yesterday where he barely spoke while the woman he had on laid out her plan for improving one's life, whereas in another interview he asked a slew of questions, and that was because her information was deep and complex and needed to be parsed and developed. And part of the reason I noticed that is the videos were interesting enough that I was paying attention at that level. A lot of videos I just turn on and I start doing something, art, exercise, whatever. So I may be paying attention, I may not. When he has on the right guest, I get sucked into it. And sometimes it's a distraction, but I always get some good out of it, so it's worth it. Now that sounds like I digress, but one of the best tools I have for changing my thinking is educational or motivational videos. And there's a lot of static out there, so I need to identify and focus on the channels that deliver the stuff that best fits my needs. Okay, like I said, I've got a link to his channel below, and I think he's got some really worthwhile stuff. You should check it out. So here's what I'm trying to change. My energy and activity levels, and that's more or less a closed loop. As the more energy I have, the more active I tend to be, and vice versa. But it's not just being active and energetic, it's about having a definite purpose, being sure of its validity, and garnering the enthusiasm and focus to achieve that purpose. I absolutely do not believe in moving fast and breaking things or being disruptive just to grow your brand. All those notions can be applied to any large movement seeking radical change, good or bad, whether it's empire building and colonization, Nazi Germany and the Blitzkrieg, or stopping German expansion and ending the war, or Trumpism and turning presidential and governmental norms and constitutional ideals on their heads, or any virus seeking to thrive and causing a pandemic. You know, you can call a lot of things moving fast and breaking things, and it may sound kick-ass, you know, when you're doing it to make money or get attention, but that doesn't mean it's kick-ass. It's actually petty and shallow. So I'm going to repeat what I said one page back, and that is, it's just not about being active and, okay, yeah, but it's not just being active and energetic, it's about having a definite purpose, being sure of its validity, and garnering the enthusiasm and focus to achieve that purpose. And all those things are important, but I think it's important to recognize how they all fit together and how they all feed off each other. You can be energetic and active and like I said before, you know, destroying stuff just because you can. That's of course not what I'd call growth and what I'm trying to achieve. So it's a lot more complex than that, and the whole having a purpose, knowing exactly what it is, what direction it lies, going in that direction, having the enthusiasm, and what else did I say? Having the enthusiasm and focus, I believe I said, yeah, to maintain going in that direction, which is big. Knowing how to get enthusiasm and focus at those times when you just don't have it. That's all a part of it. That's all what I'm learning. And that's most of it anyways, is outside of my comfort zone. I mean, I can be very enthusiastic and active when it's something that dearly interests me, is easy to do, is right there in front of me. You know, I can be real active and energetic when it's all laid out and I don't even have to think, and it's like, oh, look, let me do that. When it's something desirable, but the end is hard to achieve because of all the intermediate steps that are not fun to do. That's what I'm learning to do, and it's a lot of work. and it's a lot of getting out of my comfort zone, and it's a lot of, well, the computer's here in front of me, not there in the shop, but it's a lot of getting on videos and watching that kind of stuff and then having to apply it, which is, of course, the hard part, but that's the fundamental part that actually works. You know, I can get distracted by videos all day long and think, wow, now I've got it, now I know what to do. Knowing what to do is great. Doing it is the important part. And I actually read an article once where anytime somebody buys a self-help book, just the buying the book, even just ordering it and waiting for it to be delivered, just that tends to elevate your feeling about what you're doing. You know, how you feel about whatever that self-help book is supposed to help. So it's easy to have a kind of, I guess, placebo effect, for lack of a more accurate term, just by saying, okay, now I'm going to watch a video on motivation or self-discipline or focus or procrastination or, you know, whatever, and then say, that's great, now I know what to do. Okay, now I got to do it. And that's where I'm at. And there's a lot involved. And I did say, this is the important part that I haven't actually really gotten to yet. Well, that's how I'm trying to change. What brought me here, I'll go over this quickly because I spoke of it in other videos, but I got hit by a car in Key West and life flighted to Miami. Spent months in first a hospital and a nursing home, then a Salvation Army, then on the streets, and knew that this could be a life-changing event for me, in that I realize how vulnerable and fragile I am, as is everybody in the world, the universe, I imagine. But I need to start doing things, or, you know, the next car might just take me out. I better do some things that I want to do in life, or I won't even be regretting them on my deathbed. I'll get hit by a car and not even know that I've died. So that's where I'm at. I'm trying to do a bunch of things in life, not all at the same time. I'm trying. Well, one of the big things is just learning how to set goals. And I don't mean just learning how to write something down on a piece of paper. I mean learning how to structure them so they make sense, they're attainable. There's a certain time constraint involved. It's something I could follow, and it's something I'm actually going to do. I mean, anybody can write down whatever. I want to be president. Let's see, not this election, 2024. Fine, you set yourself a goal. Now, how are you going to achieve that? It's, yeah, the point there, that example was, you know, you could say, I want to be a cowboy, I want to be an astronaut, whatever. Some of these things are actually attainable, others so-so. You might be able to become an astronaut if you're young enough and are willing to go a certain route. Becoming president, it's only one person every 4 years, and that's nigh on impossible to achieve. If you really want that, well, good luck to you, man. But my point is, the goals that I'm making are things that I'm good at, things that I'm capable of, because I've done something similar at some point in my life. And the only thing that's stopping me is not having enough belief in myself, not doing the hard work, and learning less why those things manifest themselves, and more how can I change those? And that's where I'm at. How do I change these things? How do I live my dreams? So that's where I'm at. that's all for this morning. But I would just like to quickly say, there's always more to put in, but I would just like to quickly say, I was on my back. I had a bunch of broken bones, fractured bones. There's like 8 different places I had fractured bones. I've got 3 pins. I've got 3 vertebrae fused together. Um, at the beginning, at least, I was a real mess, and I had to get over that. I had to get beyond after they stepped down my medication, my pain medication. I had to get past the pain. I had to get past sleep deprivation, which was, I think, the worst of what I had to experience. And I was living on the streets in a wheelchair. I mean, I had to go through a bunch of stuff just to get to this point. But through it all, I knew that I wanted to be at this point, and when I was at this point, be able to do something with it. And that's where I'm at. And I've never accomplished a lot of things that I've wanted to do in life because they were dreams and they were over there, and I didn't set goals and I didn't follow up on them, and I had so many that it was like I was frozen into inaction because, well, if I do this, then I can't do that. And it's like, well, what do you do? Work in a factory. At least you can put food on the table. That's done. For the most part, that's done. I mean, I might have to go back to work at a job that I don't like, but it's not. I'm 2 things. I hope I don't have to, and I'm planning against that. And if I do have to, it's not going to be a lot, and it's not going to be for long, because that's not how I want to live my life. But anyways, I said I would make a video, and here's the video, and I thank you for watching. And if you didn't watch, well, what's wrong with you, man?